as I stood up, I dislocated my shoulder. So then I was forced to go by ambulance to the nearest city. Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Vita, and today I'm just giving you a life update as to where we are now. So I moved into this apartment in May 2023, or well, April 2023, but it took like a month of repairs and maintenance to actually be able to live in it. So in that time frame, I ended up putting up all this like wallpaper that you see behind me, as well as painting and some other minor reconstruction work. And frankly, it brought back my chronic pain that I had in my right shoulder from 8 dislocations prior. I had surgery in March of 2022, completely took all my pain away. Like my joint pain was non-existent after that point, until the following year and 2 months later when I started really working again with it, because I was painting, I was putting up wallpaper, I was helping build furniture, the whole shebang. It brought it all back. Had to go through physiotherapy again because we thought that might be more beneficial than doing like a nerve needle, because they could have just, given me a nerve block in order to reduce my pain. But I'm not into the idea of a nerve block, just due to that could have severe consequences as nerve damage, because everything has a risk. And for me, I'm not willing to take the risk to nerve damage. I already have joint pain. I do not need nerve pain on top of it. So anywho, that's what happened in May 2023. I did not do much after that. After that, it was like focusing on physiotherapy and then trying to work. And then I had to get more physiotherapy because the chairs on my job were awful. Then I left that job. My muscle pain went completely away because I had my comfortable work chair back instead of using the office chairs. And then February 2024, when I decided to come back to YouTube, I got a PlayStation 5. And I was playing Just Dance 5, having the time of my life, completely addicted to my PlayStation 5, which also partially killed the YouTube dream back then, because I was 100% addicted to Harvest Moon and Just Dance. Like, I was doing like an hour a day every day. So April comes along, like 2 months in, my husband and I and a friend of ours that is a couple went to a hotel that had a really awesome like pool and water park kind of thing within it. And the wife and I, we went off just to have fun in the kiddie section, because the water was really warm in comparison to like the adult area. And they had like a bunch of slides and stuff. So we were just playing, having fun. I went down the slide like this, completely flat on my back. And as I stood up, I dislocated my shoulder. The dislocation itself was very fast. Like it was like a kind of thing, lasted for seconds. I felt it, but it barely hurt in that sense. Like it was just like so fast, your body couldn't react to the pain, except afterwards. It was the worst feeling I've ever had in my arm after dislocation. Like normally once the bone goes back in, you're like absolutely fine and it only hurts outside, but you're like, able to just move it. For me after that one, no, I was in an extreme amount of pain afterwards. I was like, something is wrong. I went to my husband, I told him that I dislocated it. We went to the lifeguard, told him that I dislocated it. He called an ambulance. So then I was forced to go by ambulance to the nearest city, because we're just like near Lake Lipno. Like we weren't in any city near a hospital. So we had to go into Český Krumlov, I believe, and to that hospital there on a weekend where no one spoke English. They spoke like a little bit, and I spoke a little bit of Czech. So between the little bits and Google Translate, everything was fine, I guess. Like I went in, I got an x-ray, they confirmed everything's back in place. We chatted a little bit. They gave me this brace. I was on my way in like 10 minutes. And my husband didn't even get to the hospital by the time I was done, which is normal for a dislocation, honestly, especially when there was nobody at that hospital. Like it was just me. And then a guy and his child after a while, but for the most part, it was just me. After that, I was given a request to see a GP just to tell them like, hey, you dislocated your shoulder and get you doing next steps. So I brought that to a GP. She gave me a recommendation to see an orthopedist. So I saw the previous orthopedist that I was seeing at Canadian Medical. So I do majority of my care through Canadian Medical just to have an English speaker and to not have somebody bitter about speaking English. So I typically just go through them for everything. And so I saw the one that I was seeing initially back in 2022, who then referred me to my surgeon. So he's not my surgeon, but he speaks way better English than my surgeon does. So I just go see him, he explains everything to me, and then I go see my surgeon and we schedule surgery. That's typically how it goes with him. So I saw him and he was like, well, I'm gonna have to like discuss your case with the previous surgeon because like I already came with my options that I was wanting to do. Like I was wanting a physical barrier, something that will force it to not dislocate anymore, because I thought my surgery was going to stop me from ever having a dislocation, which I think is fair. But turns out my sutures were dissolvable and I didn't create enough scar tissue to actually have the surgery work the way that it was intended to. So what it was supposed to do was putting in the anchors, I'm going to call them anchors, putting the anchors from the muscle to the bone was supposed to create scar tissue between the muscle and the bone that then would adhere the muscle to my bone. But I did not create enough scar tissue for that to happen. And that really fast jolt that I had probably just ripped up any scar tissue that I had anyways. So at this time I did not have an MRI, so I did not actually know what was going on inside my arm. I did not know about the scar tissue thing, but that's the reason why the surgery didn't work in the first place. So he was like, I'll discuss it with your last surgeon. I have an appointment, I have a surgery scheduled with him in June, so we'll talk then. I just go on my merry way. I wear my sling for like 2 weeks because I got sick of it, because I was wearing it with like the crossbody thing and I was trying to wear my arm like this, but my arm tugs down on my shoulder. This sling is a size too big, so I can't really get the arm piece to properly fit my torso. So either I have to wear it up like right across my chest, or I have to wear it super low, and it does not help. Super low just tugs on my shoulder, and super high up is just weird to be like clutching your boob. I also then altered it to this eventually, which is a lot more comfortable and really all I need, because I can't move my shoulder, but like I can still use my hand. No orthopedist has said that I can't do this, FYI. Nobody's commented on it. They've seen me do this. Nobody said anything. So while I'm waiting for them to communicate, in June, when we were going on a trip to Rome, I was packing my suitcase and I could feel something moving around in my arm. Like it felt like an accordion tugging on something like this. I was like, okay, sense of doom. I feel like something bad's gonna happen. 1 week goes by, everything's fine. My trip to Rome went fine. No injuries. The following weekend, though, I felt that the entire Saturday, just this, something pulling and snapping back. And then I open up my dishwasher and I get the most intense pain I've had since dislocation number 8. So I assume that's dislocation number 10 at this point. So I had 9 in April, 10 in June, and I wrote to that orthopedist and I was like, I need surgery. I need it now. I need something done, limit my movement, do anything that you can, because I cannot live like this. I just did this opening up a dishwasher. And if you'd like to know my dislocation history, first one was opening up a cupboard, which was above my head and my arm went fully out like this. So it's not like a regular cupboard, but also it's a cupboard at the end of the day. Number 2 was I fell into a foam pit in a bouncy trampoline place. Essentially tightrope, but it was a wooden board. But you know, you get the idea. You're walking on a very small thing. Fell into a foam pit, dislocated my shoulder, and I fell straight down like this, and I dislocated my shoulder. Don't even know how. It doesn't even make sense. And then the third one, this is all 2018 by the way, the third one in 2018 as well, I picked up a 50-pound suitcase and I dislocated my shoulder upon lifting it up. So that's all 2018. If it was the Czech Republic, I should have had surgery back in 2018, except my doctors in Canada, I saw one doctor, and the reason why I didn't see another doctor since was because of what this one doctor said to me, which was, well, your shoulder's not dislocated now, because I had to fill out a whole medical report when I opened up that cupboard. He didn't even give me an x-ray, nothing. He didn't even give me painkillers. He's just like, no, you're just always going to dislocate it now. Good luck. And everybody I spoke to afterwards was like, oh yeah, once you dislocate it, you're always going to dislocate it. It's just what it is. Welcome to your new life. So I never thought a big deal of dislocating my shoulder. And then 2019 comes along, and I go on a vacation to Spain, and I dislocate my shoulder belly flopping onto a bed, which was a lot of fun and very difficult to get me off the bed because my shoulder was pinning me into the bed. So my husband had to pick me up by my rib cage, which was not fun. And then once I was sitting up on the bed, it popped back in because like we were ready to like go to the hospital because like I could not get up off that bed. Then also that same weekend while in Spain, I was picked up by a huge wave and slammed into the shore. It dislocated both shoulders on the way out and then pushed them back in on the way back into the water. Thank God, because I was more worried about drowning than anything else because it was like I literally can't get up. Both my shoulders are out. And then like we come back to Prague on the Monday or something, and I was just like, oh, I need to see a doctor. Oh, I need to see a doctor. And I just did that every single day until Friday comes along and I dislocate my shoulder in the metro, catching myself on a seat once the train abruptly stopped. So like I was standing, holding on to a bar, it stopped so fast that I went flying into this woman and I put my arm out like this and it dislocated. That was the longest dislocation I've ever had because normally they pop themselves back in. That one, I had to go to the hospital. And so this is when everything started in the Czech Republic. I get ambulanced off to Nemocnice Krč, which I thought was Tomato Hospital, but it's Tomerova. But anyway, I get ambulanced off there, and it literally goes back in right as they're about to pop it back in. Thank God it did, though, that it went back in itself, because they put a sheet under you and they tug on that arm. That would have hurt like hell. So I'm glad it went in on its own. So they just tugged. It didn't hurt at all. And I was just like, yeah, okay, great. And they're like, no. You should not be moving your arm. You wear this brace. You wear it for 3 weeks. You go see your GP. So that's kind of how that one all went. And then my second one, I fell on the metro. I have a video about that one. I say like I'm broken or something, and like I scraped a pan and everything because I fell on my left side, hoping that I wouldn't dislocate my right shoulder, and I did anyway. So then I had to be scooped off the metro floor by the ambulance and then taken to Nemocnice Bolovka. And at Bolovka, they were like, oh, 3 dislocations in the Czech Republic, you get surgery. And then my third one happened that was 2020, just before COVID. And then 2021, right at the end of the year, I dislocated my shoulder just doing a shimmy, dancing. Popped it out. It hurt like hell. That's the most painful one I've had so far. And then the dishwasher was the second most painful one. That's kind of all of them. Then I had surgery in 22. Now I'm here with 2 dislocations in 2 months. And turns out, from my first dislocation, the reason why my arm hurt so much after was I have a slap lesion. So I tore my bicep muscle or tendon, something like that. And that's the thing that I feel move like an accordion, because it's got a nice hole in the middle of it. So I feel it separate and then move back. Not pretty. I guess I retore it on number 10. But I also have a Hill-Sachs lesion as well. So my bone for my shoulder is more dented than it was before. All of this is new damage post-surgery. We've compared the MRIs between the two. And then I also just, my ligaments and everything is all messed up, which is normally how it goes. And that's kind of what happened after number 8. That was all there. But now it's just worse. And after surgery, the damage is worse. So they talked. He saw my MRI like a week later. I went in, he had a vacation, and then I went in to see him again, and he highly recommended me going back to my original surgeon and doing another arthroscopic surgery. I believe that's what it is. It's like laparoscopic, but for joints specifically. So I'm doing that again. This time, we're putting in 3 permanent anchors in the front and 1 in the back. So that will restrict my movement from being able to move like this. So really it'll affect the way that I play tennis, but I don't really think it will, because I think if you use your full body, you're going to be fine and you can still play. But we'll see, of course, right? So that's kind of my life update there. I'm going to make another life update in regards to my diagnosis for hypotonia, because I have 2 videos on my benign congenital hypotonia. And I've had some discussions in regards to that, but really I'm going to wait a little bit more in the week to make that video, because I have a test this Tuesday about it. Yeah, here we are. So I'm going to have surgery for my shoulder in a week. I could have had it on Tuesday, but I'm like, no, I have that other test, and that other test is very important, and I waited almost a year to get it because I was supposed to get it in March, and then their machine broke. Now I'm getting it in July. Fun times. Also, all these videos might come out in August, so we'll see when I actually get to editing and posting everything. But yeah, surgery is in a week and a half, July 23rd. I don't know when you'll see this, but that's when it is. And it'll be back at Is Care. So we're going to see, did Is Care improve? There's going to be tons of content around this. I hope you will join me on my surgery journey, watch my healing process, the whole thing. But I'll see you guys in the next one for now. Bye! You can watch my benign congenital video here, or you can watch my past I'm broken video here.